So we finally made it, y'all. After 8 seasons, after the highs, the lows, the middle of the roads, a lot of complaints this season, a lot of bad writing, a lot of suspect character decisions with multiple characters throughout. We made it, yo. We made it to the season finale of The Chi, and like, if I'm being honest here, this was probably not even probably. This is the best episode all season long for me. I'm just gonna say it, man. And I am gonna be, if you follow the actual podcast and you know the history of some commentaries and like some commentary moments, y'all know I like to be transparent. Y'all know if a movie or a TV show gets me in my feelings, even if it gets the waterworks out of me, I'm gonna let y'all know. So I'm gonna treat this no different than I treat the actual podcast. Like when I did commentary for The Best Man, like I cried. I did, man. I cried. Like, Mia's funeral gets me every time, but it's the moment when Morris Chestnut, when they're lowering that casket and he's got his fist balled up and then his fist just unballs and then he breaks down and Harper is there to hold. I was like, yo, all right, fuck y'all because y'all got me. All right. Furious 7. I didn't cry doing the commentary, but I cried when I first bought it on DVD and was doing shots of Sailor Jerry. It was not a good time. But yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, man, this shit got me. For real, yo, in a few moments. One of the moments that had me tear up was when Emmett asked Devontae to hold the ring for him. And he's like, what if I lose it? He's like, you won't. And that single tear rolled down. That kid is a solid actor, yo. I keep forgetting he was the kid in the Deliverance or something like that, whatever that Andra Day and Glenn Close movie was. But he's solid, man, and he's got other projects coming up. I want to say he's in that Creed spinoff TV show. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But that single tear rolls down his eye, and he tells his dad, like, looking him in his eye, he's like, I won't let you down. He was like, I know you won't. Or he said, you better not, whatever he said. And then he's like, I love you, Dad. And they embraced. I was like, fuck. It start flowing. I start looking around. I'm in the room, just me and the cat. And I was like, fuck, man. I was like, I hope this don't. Listen, it can't be happening. Then you had the moment with Trig and Shad. Another moment that got me, man, and if I'm being honest, is when I think it was little Ronnie was coming out giving out the flowers during the wedding ceremony, and he put that single fucking flower by Jada's picture, yo. That kind of took me. That was kind of personal for me because I remember going to my dad's wedding, and there was a picture of my grandma we had there, and it felt like she was in attendance and her spirit was there. That part got me, yo. Also, just seeing the flashes of like Emmett and Keisha, everything they've been through. Good morning, Nennerts. You definitely just walked in on my review. Hello. Good morning. Are you gonna? Yes. Good morning, Krusty.
That's on Netflix, right?
No, this is not a show for you. See how she just review bombed me like that, y'all? But just it's like a montage sequence of Emmett and Keisha, just everything that they went through, and just to see them finally tie the knot, man. I'm like, we've literally watched them go through everything and more, and then they finally got. They finally made it happen because I wasn't sure who was gonna get cold feet towards the end. Another moment that got me, damn, what was it, man? I was just talking to somebody on Facebook in one of the Shy groups about this. It was seeing Bakari. Yo, Bakari made it. Bakari made it out, man. Bakari made it out. They did the whole Menace to Society thing where Rafi came in smoky, said he's talking to Keith of all people. He's like, yeah, we're Bakari. I got unfinished business. First of all, Keith should have went to Bakari like, yo, dog, you got either the feds or some goons looking for you, and you need to hit the road maybe like several days earlier than planned. But Rafi spun the block. First of all, you aired the whole fucking block out, and I don't know how many times Bakari got hit, but he did survive. He survived, and I'll get to that in a second. But Bakari survived, but Rafi fucking he had the mask on, but then he took the mask off so Bakari knew who he was. It's all in slow motion and dramatic. And then he unveils this fucking gun. Like, I felt like I was like listening to Raw for the Streets where Cheek Raw, Philly people know where Cheek Raw was like load the Tech 9 with the Swiss cheese nozzle. Like, that shit had the Swiss cheese nozzle on it in the extended clip, and he just was like out the window. And Lene came out. She's like, oh no, Bakari, breathe. And then it says 1 year later, and they're playing Donny Hathaway, Someday We'll All Be Free. I was like, oh my fuck. And as they're playing that, it's a montage of all the characters getting their happy endings, man. Trig and Fatima ended up together. Shawnita and Isis, I think the character's name is, ended up together. Keith is still with Jordan. Papa's pulpit came back. Jake moved in with his girl. Like, everybody's getting their happy ending. Shad was, you know, he's in stepdad mode. Him and Patience and the young bull. They had a scene where the three young bulls are riding their bikes, and I was like, damn, man, that kind of took me back to, you know, the original seasons, man. The first couple seasons with Jake, Papa, and Kev, man. When Kev showed up at the wedding, that's what I forgot. When Kev showed up, and the way that it was shot, where you just see Keisha, but then Kev pops up right next to her. I was like, God damn, man. Nina came back, and Keisha said to her mom what we all was thinking. She was like, you missed the birth of my second child. And she was like, I know, and I'm not going to hear the rest of it. She was like, but you were there for my first, so I forgive you. I love that Nina showed up. Yo, the only people that wasn't at this wedding was me. I swear to God, man, because Nina came back. The brat was there. Tracy was there. Ronnie, the OG Ronnie, his two best friends from season 1 and 2 was at the wedding, man. Kevin was there. Maisha was there too. Like, Kevin and Maisha was still together. I feel like Lena Waithe put the call in and was like, Avengers Assemble, yo. I swear to God, man, it was a really... I saw a whole bunch of people saying that it shouldn't have lasted that long, the wedding sequence, but I thought it was beautiful, man. I thought was a beautiful finale. If I do have a complaint, all right, and I'm not just being petty here. If I have a complaint, Bakari with that fucking hairpiece on at the end, man, it was given Shorty from Scary Movie 6. I know it was 1 year later, and I was happy as shit because when they showed, again, the way that they filmed it, I love the way they filmed it because it's a group of people getting Bakari's book and getting the book signed. So I was like, damn, man, like, because you only see the line of people, but you see Lene to the left of the screen, and I was like, damn, man, she's holding Bakari down, man. She did right by her man, and you know, in the wake of his death, you know what I'm saying? But then the camera kind of goes around, and then you see Bakari sitting right next to her. I was like, fuck yeah, young boy, you made it out, man. They wasn't gonna came from Menace to Society, you, man. And I know Bakari got on my nerves for so long, and he did so much dumb shit, but to see that young boy make it out, man, that's kind of reflective, man, of just where I'm from, because it's a lot of young boys that don't make it out of here, man. So to see Bakari make it out, even though it's a fictional story, that shit was everything, man. Yeah, and Tiff and Keisha talked. Keisha said, I forgive you. She said, I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive you for what you did, because Tiff shows up to the door and she's like, I'm sorry. And they have this back and forth, but she's like, I don't know if I'll be able to forgive you for what you did, but I will for the sake of our kids. And she was like, it's going to take some time. Tiff said, take all the time you need. Tiff was still in the wedding and all of that kind of shit. Beautiful, beautiful fucking finale, man, with everything that we went through. This entire season just being like a roller coaster of just whatever the fuck. Bunch of randoms and all of that. They brought it home so well, man. And it's not until the show's not going to be around anymore that, you know, you look back on everything that you complained about. But like I always say, man, like with any show or movie franchise for that matter, like, I'm a fan. I'm not a fanboy. I just can't accept any and everything that they throw at me. Like, if it's flaws in there, I'm going to call it out. If it's something that could have been done better or whatever the case may be, I'm going to talk about it. But The Chi still, man, undoubtedly is going to go down as one of my favorite shows of all time. And now I think it's time to binge. I think it's time to binge all over again. I know it turns into a completely different show at some point. It feels like more soap opera-ish at some point, maybe around the time when it hit like season 3 or 4. And I know it ain't nothing like those first 2 seasons, man, but it was just it was a really, really good episode, man. And honestly, I thought Trig was gonna die, because him and Shad have that, yo, man, we've been through some tough times together, and you always gonna be my brother, I'll never forget you. I was like, you niggas know y'all still gonna live in the Chi in that universe. Like, yeah, y'all might be parting ways in real life on the set, but I was like, y'all like, what is happening, man? But great finale, man. I'm gonna miss the hell out of this show, and like I said, I'm about to binge the show all over again at some point this week.